And welcome back. We're now on part 3 of this week in new comics, bitches! So, uh, I think I'm going to keep that way, by the way, just so you know. Anyway, moving along. Okay, none of these next 3 books that I'm going to talk about are in my possession because I lent them to one of my friends. But I made notes, so we're going to talk about them anyway. So the first one is this would normally be big enough to get Book of the Week, but no. And I'll tell you why. And that is Fear Itself #2. Now, Fear Itself, as you know, I'm sure at least some of you know, is the grand, the grand super mega crossover for all of the big Marvel titles this summer. It's going to be the one that shakes up the the status quo again. Apparently, this one's going to be more like Civil War shaking up status quo than some other recent large event comics like Siege or one of the other ones that I've completely forgotten about. Um, you know, Basically, since Civil War, there hasn't been one that's supposed to shake up the status quo as much as Fear Itself is concerned. Um, that's Scotty back there again. Um, and okay, so Fear Itself #2. Okay, now basically the best way that I can describe this comic in this review is with 5 words. All fucking hell breaks loose. And that's really it. Um, you know, it is major crises happening all over the fucking place. And now at the end of the last issue, we had these 7 objects that were falling into, they were falling towards Earth, and basically all of the residents of Asgard, including Odin, grab up Thor, and they are going back to Asgard. Thor is still mightily pissed, or verily pissed, as he might say. If you haven't seen the movie yet, by the way, go see it, like, now, because it's that good. Probably is the best Marvel film since Iron Man. Which is not to say that I didn't like Iron Man 2. I liked it. I don't love it. Or I also really, really liked The Incredible Hulk. But this is definitely, I would say since Iron Man, this has been the best film. Anyway, because it's kind of the summer of Thor and Captain America, so we're going to be seeing a lot of them. And you've got Steve Rogers trying to coordinate various crises, so on and so forth, and you've got basically these hammers that start landing all over the place that were unleashed by the Serpent, the big bad. The first one that we see grabbed is grabbed by Juggernaut on the raft on the island prison to keep the superhumans separated from superhuman criminals, or meta criminals, whatever you want to call them, separated from regular criminals, so to speak. So he gets one, and he lays some major smackdown on the whole fucking prison, and he gets free. The second one falls, and I didn't know that Betty Ross, or Betty Banner, whatever she might actually be right now, has actually become the Red She-Hulk, because I don't read Hulk, because it was written by Jeff Loeb. And I don't read anything written by Jeff Loeb unless a lot of people recommend it to me. And I mean a lot. But Hulk, grabs one, and Hulk grabs another one of the hammers, and the Absorbing Man and Titania, who are in South Africa, and they're basically forcing people to mine diamonds for them, like conflict diamonds, things like that. Titania, or Titania, whatever. She, the Absorbing Man is trying to get it, but she can't. But he can't. But she just comes along and she picks it right up, and she is transformed. Atuma, the kind of the would-be usurper of the throne of Atlantis. He's gotten a hammer too, and just obviously coincidental. And then one also falls on Yancey Street, which if you're up on Fantastic Four at all, you know that Yancey Street has a great deal of significance because that's where Ben Grimm is originally from. That's where he grew up. It's a very tough neighborhood. That basically just these four having these things is causing, like I said, all fucking hell to break loose. Like autism rates start to skyrocket, and international tensions are climbing, and just everybody is just scared out of their minds. It's fear itself is come to fear is coming, and make sure that you lock up your daughters. Because there are some bad motherfuckers on the loose. Now, the main issue that I have with this particular issue of this comic is not so much that it's incredibly confusing in how much is actually going on in just this one issue. I mean, it's fine that a comic book can, has a good pace, but you can't overload your reader with information either. It makes for very ragged reading. So again, kind of the main issue that I have is that we have seen something like this before. There's a scene, I swear to God, is almost directly stolen from the Ultimates, the second volume of the Ultimates, which is the splash page where it says Blitzkrieg USA, and all of the Nazi bots are blowing the shit out of everything. The Capitol Dome is totally blown up, and just all of these I mean, like I said, all fucking hell breaks loose. That's the only way to describe it. And it's not a very scary read, because I guess it's too frenetic. There's too much chaos occurring, and you don't really get the sense that whoever's that Matt Fraction, who is writing this comic, really has all of this chaos organized. So that's really that's my feeling of what's going on with this issue of Fear itself. So hopefully with the next issue, it will continue. It will get it'll get better. Anyway, I intended, to do more. Well, we'll do a little bit more, and then we'll move on. So next thing that I want us to also talk about is Fear itself, the Homefront, which they did with Civil War titles. They did Frontline. They're doing the same kind of thing here, but smaller stories with smaller characters, but they do turn out to be important. There's some stories here again involving just basically people losing their minds with fear. And they're doing all sorts of crazy shit. But the main story here, the main thread here, is that Robbie Baldwin, aka Speedball, aka Penance, also at one point or another, has been going secretly to Stanford to help with the survivors there from the Civil War, the whole thing that started Civil War. He gets the shit beaten out of him, and he's about to get killed, and then the woman who kind of started the whole cry for registration, Miriam Sharp, actually ends up kind of protecting him. So we're coming to that. So anyway, we'll come back to that after the jump. Okay, so see you in a minute.